AMQ number 9. I don't even need to look at the book at this one. What is your relationship with money and or finance? So me, I think I have a good relationship with money. I I have a life where I built a system up that I don't have to fully rely on it to like worry about it, to stress over it, to put myself in survival mode to a degree where I'm living paycheck to paycheck. That's the aspect of me being an investor, investing into things, people, and ideas that I can utilize my aspect of pattern recognition and self awareness to now put those things into a finance area that it can work for me in some way, shape, or form. So I've been investing in the stock market in some way for it's been 7 years at this point. I first started and being more aware of it that it's not just for the super wealthy, the 1% of who has that money because of how easily accessible it is now. But I started that 7 years ago. And I started really doing a deep dive where I bet more on myself and my own aspect of self awareness, pattern recognition, to put myself ahead because I can do what if anybody does it, invest in stocks, they invest in like the ETFs, the S&P, the overall market and stuff like that, where you pretty much will guarantee make money if you don't take your money out. If you leave it in long enough, you'll gain the average return of 4 to 7% for the most part, and you'll make money. But if you think about that, 4 to 7%, if you put in $100, that means you're going to make $4 to $7, right? What I am doing, because I've actually done it a handful of times, is I'm doing my research on companies, um, whether it's involving with the CEO, whether it's what the company does, the service they provide, and what analysts and stuff say. It allows me to kind of use my aspect of faith, self awareness, and pattern recognition to now, in a sense, I guess, bet on companies that are going to succeed. And it's not that anything's guaranteed because nothing's guaranteed in life. I just know I'm willing to take the risk in some of these areas, knowing I don't have to do physical work. That's what most people do is I want a guaranteed type of income. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a job where I know how much I make, whether it's salary or hourly, and I know that's where my paycheck's coming from, and that will now fund my life. So now I can pay bills, and then I can travel, but it's based on somebody else to some degree. Like, yes, investing in the stock market is based on something else to some degree, but it's based on the overall economy. It's not really based on, hey, I have a boss and they're not telling me what to do. At the end of the day, we're not in control of most things in our life, and most people have to understand that. You can try and avoid, like, hey, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be bossed around. I don't want to be controlled. We're all controlled in some way, shape, or form, and you have to realize that. The thing you have to do for yourself is always find a way around it that is unique to you and can benefit you in some way, shape, or form. So I invest in many, many things that most people aren't aware of, and I'm probably not going to tell everybody until some of these things start becoming a reality because at some point it sounds a little crazy. They don't and they do at the same time. But for me, I kind of just think about it, and when it comes up, it's just like I go look for it. At the end of the day, you find what you're looking for. So I go look for those things that I believe in and I see coming and put money into it. So that when that time comes, when everybody else starts talking about these things, the innovation, these ideas, these businesses, I've already been aware of them in some way, shape, or form. For the most part, I'm not going to bet on everything because I don't trust everything because there's a lot more risk in some areas than others. But most things, because of economic cycles, businesses, convenience, and services and things like that, some of these things are guaranteed. Like betting on the mental health space. Knowing that the mental health space has been growing and growing over the course of time in all areas, that's pretty much something that is a guarantee. Innovation in regards to AI and robotics is kind of the same thing with everything that goes on with people wanting to get paid more, bigger wages and salaries, and then employers not having the ability to do all that stuff without losing money. There's a way they're going to figure some of that stuff with AI and robotics and all that. So for me, those are pretty easy things to bet on, knowing that they're pretty much guaranteed to make money. Now, the caveat around that is I'm betting on individual businesses. So I'm not betting on, hey, all AI is going to be something that's growth because it's going to happen. Same with robotics, it's going to happen. It's been happening. So it's pretty much guaranteed. However, speaking of picking the specific business that's going to be the face of that is what's difficult. But if you find that one that is going to be the face, you find the Apples and the Amazons and the companies like that that stand out from the rest of the crowd, they will be that. But it's hard to see that in the early stages. So you do have to kind of figure some of that stuff out and see what works for you and understand that you can actually lose it all. So you never put all your money in one place and bet on one thing only. Because then what you do is you psych yourself out. So when it comes to money, it's the same thing. You can guarantee a life of, hey, you know what? I don't have kids. I don't really care about the future like that. So I'm going to go on trips. I'm going to buy all this food and try all this stuff out. And as I've said before, you're guaranteeing your health is going to be in jeopardy. You're putting your kids, if you have kids, in a situation where now they have to take care of you because you weren't taking care of yourself. And now you put a burden on them. So you got to really think about things in perspective like that. So when it comes to money, I think of how I can do these things for myself and be self-sufficient and not just be able to give that money away, because I do want to give that away. I do want to share. I do want to donate and serve and give to others. But I also want to be able to have the tool set, the skills that I've learned by playing this game that I've created for myself to benefit somewhere else, forging my own path so that other people can come down with me. And then they can use some of the things that I use and forge their own path. And then the cycle continues and everybody pays it forward. So for me, I understand the aspect that this money is not mine, it's not guaranteed, and the physical dollars is just a piece of paper. The digital money is all going to be tracked in some way, shape, or form. That's why all these things like FedNow, you see everything with Zelle, all these things can be tracked. These things are going to be taxed. You think you're going to get around it in some way, shape, or form. It's not going to happen. They're going to find you for the most part. You can run and hide at the end of the day, but there's always a way they're going to be found. You might not get caught now, but you might get caught later, and it could be 10 times worse. So either to do things the most legal and proper way, in any way, shape, or form. Don't cheat the government. Don't cheat the IRS. Anything like that. I'm always going to say that, because you put yourself in a tougher place. And if you get to a place where now you literally cannot do anything, you cannot protect your family, you cannot fulfill your purpose because now you are trapped, you are stuck in a box because somebody else put you there because of what you were doing and you were not prepared for it, that now falls on you because you weren't preparing. So for me, a lot of this stuff comes to finance. And if you notice with anything, most people struggle mentally, physically, and all that stuff because they don't have the aspect of the resources, because they don't have the finances. So they're worried about making money. So then they go to a job and work a job and then get taxes taken out and only have so much money to pay bills. And then they continue to do it again. And the little money they have, they then spend it on traveling, food, fun experiences, whatever it is. And that's not bad, because some people want to live that life. That's fine if you want to live that life. Most people live that life struggle. That's why I've talked about in another audio or video at some point that you're going down the same path that most people go to. So you're going to have the same end result. You'll have experiences and fun on the way up, but you're going to be miserable and your health's going to be more impacted than anything else later down the line. And it's not going to, you're not going to really see it right now. You're going to see it in 20, 30, 40 years, where it is now too late to go back. So for me, a lot of this stuff starts with the aspect of finance, money, having a good relationship with it, and knowing at the end of the day it's not yours and nothing is guaranteed. So that's ANQ this week. See y'all next week.